I am joined now by our life coach, Jazna Burza, and I'm excited to talk about this subject because this one gets you so excited. There's a holiday coming up on Wednesday, and some people might even not know what it is, and it's huge, right?
Ladies, get excited. How do we not know about this?
Tell us about it.
So March 8th is a global holiday, sometimes bigger than Christmas in certain countries. I actually mean that. It's a global holiday that celebrates political, socioeconomic and cultural achievements of women throughout the world. And the theme for this year is technical advancement and education in digital age for women. But more importantly, it's just this one day where women get to celebrate all around the world. And when I was growing up, it was the moment that I knew I was a woman, because even my father gave me flowers, and we can talk a little bit more about that, which is just fascinating.
It is fascinating. And last week we talked about how you grew up in Bosnia. You spent a lot of your life in a refugee camp. But talk about the importance of this holiday, and especially sometimes when we think about countries that may not look at women the same way.
Yeah, that is why it was so special, right? So I grew up in Bosnia, which is a very patriarchal country, where women are, in the kitchen, quiet during their duties. Things are changing, of course, but when I was growing up, women, my mom didn't have much power, much voice. So on March 8th, all of the men stayed home with children, and all of the women went into the restaurants. The only men allowed in restaurants and in dance halls were the waiters and the culinary chefs, which is kind of incredible. So you have all these women who would dress up and go out and dance it out all night long and be celebrated. And ever since I was little, I would get flowers from my father. And again, I was told many things about you can't do this thing as a woman. As a woman, you will never amount to anything and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, on March 8th, the world stopped.
Wow.
And we were recognized. And there's some other really fascinating cultures. Did you know what they do in Italy?
No.
In Italy, the holiday is called Festa della Donna. Everything sounds so much better in Italian, doesn't it?
Right.
And they give yellow mimosa blossom flowers to women. And the same, the dancing thing happens in Portugal. It happens in Croatia. It happens in many European countries. And in India, women still celebrate, but the focus is more on social entrepreneurship and support of women.
And this is so neat because you shared a video of your mom last year on that day in Bosnia, right?
Yes.
Dancing. Tell us about this video. We're going to show everybody.
Dancing. It was just so funny. Here's my mom in her 70s, right? And the woman has not had much joy in her life, right? Went through war, difficult life, difficult husband, husband in a concentration camp, cancer twice. And yet here she is in her 70s dancing with all the women, right, to their own beat. And for my mom, it always has been the moment to celebrate her, to stop for a moment and say, not only does she cook our meals and cleans the house, and she worked in a sweatshop her whole life, she would get dressed, she would put on mascara, she would do her hair, just differently that day. She looks so beautiful. And then when I see her dancing and singing, it's just
seizing the day.
Joyful.
I love that video. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I want to know, too, for people locally, how would you suggest that we observe this day or take a moment to celebrate? And everyone can celebrate this, right?
Everyone, of course. Well, three things. I think if someone is watching this, if you right now are drinking a coffee and you have a woman in your life, send her a message, an emoji. I appreciate you. I love you. Men out there, go out there and make extra coffee. Put a little rose next to the coffee. Something very, I think, in acknowledgement of the womanhood, which is really, really kind. I think we can also support women-owned businesses. Women are really an up-and-coming into entrepreneurship arena. So when we do that, we are celebrating and supporting them. And third, this really ties in so much with Sunday morning. We have to celebrate ourselves. So take out a pen and paper and write what are the things that you love about yourself. Adorn yourself somehow. Lipstick, earrings, something that's going to make you feel like, I'm a woman. Hear me roar.
Well, those are great pieces of advice. Thank you so much. We celebrate you and all the women out there watching. Thank you, Jazna.
As do you. Thank you.
Now let's get